Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Tapping into Life podcast. My name is Matthew B. I am your host, and I am so glad to see each and every one of you here today. Again, taking the time to make you a better you. And I appreciate each and every one of you for doing so. All right. Before we move on, just to let you know, this is the last installment of the mental health check. We will periodically have mental health checks, but this is the last installment of assessing our mental health and the importance of mental health and what we can do to avoid the negative feelings that we have and how to maneuver through those feelings and understand why those feelings are the way they are and understand why we are feeling those negative feelings. And before we go on, I would just like to say, never mind my scruffiness, okay? Look, it's been a week. It's been a week, and I get home and I don't have enough energy. But between me getting home and going back to work, I only have enough energy to eat, sleep, take a shower, and do it all over again. So please forgive me for my scruffiness. All right, I have not shaved the face, shaved the head, but many of you who know me, y'all know where my hairline lies. Okay. All right, let's get into it. All right. So as you can see with the topic, this is the Tapping into Life Mental Health Check Part 3. The topic of this part is the topic that I was really wanting to get into, right? And this topic is called the umbilical cord. And we're going to find out why that umbilical cord may not be the best thing when it comes down to assessing our mental health. So just to recap, we really dug deep into questions of why we feel the way we feel once we assess our mental health. For example, why we feel happy or what makes us happy or what makes us angry. Why do we feel angry? What makes us sad? Why do we feel sad? What are some things that trigger us and why they trigger us? And what are some things that we just want to give up on and why we want to give up on them? Right? And we went and we discussed the importance of me time. And just to recap, just because you want me time does not mean anything's going wrong. Me time is a time to prevent things from going wrong, to prevent what's bothering you, what's stressing you out, what's causing you to have these nervous breakdowns and these anxiety attacks. That me time prevents you from doing all of that. All right, because we all know none of us want to have a nervous breakdown. None of us want to have bad days. None of us want to have those moments where we just feel like giving up. None of us want to wake up in the morning and we're just like, ugh, like we were just having this moment where, you know what, I ain't got time to fool with today. So we're going to dig deep down inside. And like I said, from the first part of this series, and I repeated it again, the second part, this part 3, you will learn that a lot of stuff that causes us to have negative feelings, negative emotions, or feel anything opposite of happy, a lot of those things have nothing to do with us. And y'all gonna be surprised why a lot of this stuff has nothing to do with us. And y'all gonna understand that a lot of this stuff are people projecting themselves or their negative selves on you. And you're going to have to learn. We're going to have to go through this process of learning and walk in this thing called discipline as we're learning to not allow, people's projection of themselves onto you, because that affects your atmosphere. And your atmosphere is the very thing that your mind gets its energy from. It can't work without your atmosphere. So if you put positive things in your atmosphere, your mind will produce positive thoughts. If you put negative things in your atmosphere, your mind will produce negative thoughts. Okay? Positive things, positive thoughts. Negative things, negative thoughts. We're about to get into it. Y'all ready? All right. So one thing I would like to highlight is we will be analyzing the part of our negative feelings, as we've been doing. That's the most important part about mental health is if there's anything that is opposite of happy that we're feeling or experiencing, we need to get down to the nitty gritty root of it. Okay. We need to understand why we feeling the way we feeling. Okay. As we ask ourselves, some questions. I went over some questions on part 2, but some other questions are: why am I sad? Why am I angry? Why do I feel depressed? We got to start asking ourselves these questions. We got to start really having deep conversations with ourselves as it pertains to these questions, because this is how we fix it. We don't know what to fix and how to fix and why to fix and when to fix and where to fix if we don't even know what it is. That's just like somebody, that's just like you saying, oh, I'm going to cook fried chicken, and you don't even know what fried chicken look like. Like, how can you do something or fix something or go about something or handle something if you don't even know what it is? How can you solve the problem? You don't even know what the problem is. And a lot of us do that. Unbeknownst to our knowledge, a lot of us say, I'm going to fix this. And they fixing something way over here. And what they need to fix is way over there. So we do that. We do that. And there's going to be times that we assess ourselves when we get a little older, maybe next year, maybe a few years from now. We're going to look back and be like, you know what? I was solving problems. I didn't even know what the problem was. All right. All right. One important thing I want to really highlight is that we have to realize that a lot of what affects our mental health negatively has nothing to do with us directly. However, we allow other people's problems. We allow other people's problems to affect the safety and well-being of our mental health. Do y'all not realize that when we wake up in the morning and we feeling a feeling opposite of happy, if we have a feeling inside of us and we feeling it and it's wearing down on us that is opposite of happy, do y'all realize that if we actually look at it, sometimes it has nothing to do with us? Now, for those who know me, they know I am a quick, that ain't got nothing to do with me kind of dude. All right? But that took time. That took time and a lot of hard work within myself to sit up here and say, you know what? That ain't got nothing to do with me. A lot of stuff. I'm gonna tell you a story. And this is going to tie in to the topic at hand. Right? Once upon a time, I was at work. Now, this is a made-up story. Once upon a time, I was at work, and my coworker Jack comes in. I said, "Good morning, Jack." He said, "Ugh." I said, "Well, what's going on? What's wrong?" I had a rough night. Well, Jack, why did you have a rough night? Oh, I had a rough night because I didn't sleep well. Okay, why didn't you sleep well? Why didn't you sleep well? Because I just spent all night just talking to my girlfriend. Okay. That don't sound too bad. Talking to your girlfriend all night. There's a lot of people who would like to talk to their boyfriends, girlfriends, husband, and wives all night. Well, she was a little stressed. Well, what's going on with the girlfriend? What's going on with the boo thing? Well, she was stressed because her mom was upset. And her mom was upset because her brother can't get his car fixed. He doesn't have enough money to get his car fixed because he lost his job because his ex-girlfriend decided she wanted to go bat-ish crazy and come up to the job and cause a ruckus, so they terminated him. And their relationship had been in and out, rocky, up and down, left to right, zigzag, crisscross, and everything else. It was just a toxic relationship. And the reason why it was a toxic relationship because she had so much weight on her shoulders from the previous dude that she really hadn't healed from. And the previous dude she really hadn't healed from had some things going on with him because he was hurt that his mama, he really didn't give a fact that his mama gave him up for adoption. So you mean to tell me that your mama, you mean to tell me that you're stressed, that you didn't have a bad night because your girlfriend's stressed out, because her mama's worked up, because the brother couldn't get the car fixed, because he didn't have enough money, because he lost his job, because the girlfriend decided she wanted to act a nutcase, because she didn't get over drama that happened in a previous relationship that involved a dude that didn't really know how to heal from the fact that his mama gave him up for adoption. Yeah, that sounds about right. Jack, do you know how many people that you've literally, not literally, but metaphorically took or figuratively took an umbilical cord and attached to? Well, what do you mean? It is none of your business. It does not pertain to you that your girlfriend is stressed out over something that does not pertain to her. Do y'all realize that we do that? We get so worked up, stressed out about things that have nothing to do with us, things that we cannot control that's going on in everybody else's lives but ours. Do y'all not realize how we allow so much madness, unnecessary drama to come in and affect who we are, how we think, how we feel? Do you not know the stronghold we put on ourselves when we decide to let other people's stories dictate the operations of our mindset, of our mind, of our spirit, of our atmosphere? Do y'all not realize that our atmosphere then becomes a storage for everybody else's problems? And not only do they go through it, you go through it. Why are we going through stuff that has nothing to do with us that's tied to other people? Why? Because when we start feeling emotions opposite of happy in regards to somebody else's situation, we figuratively take that umbilical cord and go right there in their lives. Right there. And everything that they go through and feel, we're going to feel it too. So now my coworker, Jack, has this massive headache because he didn't sleep well. Now he's groggy and can't do what he needs to do to be an effective employee. Why? Because he took the time to allow somebody else's problems to affect him. And when I asked Jack that, I said, Jack, why did you do that? Well, I was trying to be a supportive boyfriend. Well, you did far more than the definition of supportive. Let's just be clear. It is okay to feel sympathy and empathy about what somebody is going through. But we have to do that to an extent. When we go past that extent and it start affecting us and our feelings start turning opposite of happy, that's when we need to stop. Because that has nothing to do with us. That has nothing to do with us. It is okay to feel sympathy. It is okay to feel empathy. And if you feel empathy, I would think something wrong with you. But it is okay to be empathetic and sympathetic. But we got to know in discipline when we going out of those boundaries, when we crossing the line, when we're getting to that point that we literally about to take the umbilical cord and go right there in the side of somebody else's spirit. We have to realize that. Now, this affects our mental health. All right? It does. It begins to affect our mental health because now we stressed out. Now we worked up. And I hope when we go and we have that me time and we have that time to assess ourselves, I hope we realize, you know what, it's a lot of stuff going on in my life that ain't got nothing to do with me. I need to clean up my atmosphere. I need to detach that umbilical cord. I need to cut that umbilical cord. Throw the whole umbilical cord away. Because half of this stuff ain't got nothing to do with me. I need to make room for stuff that has to do with me so I can fix the stuff that has to do with me. But I can't even find what has to do with me because everybody else's pain and misery is now in my atmosphere because I allowed it to be there. Ooh. Okay. All right. When someone's going through hardships, like I said, it's okay to be empathetic. It's okay to be sympathetic. It is okay to be that support system and support and give those words of encouragement. But we got to know the boundaries of a supporter. Because some of us, once we cross those boundaries, we invest so much in other people's stories that we forget that we got problems to fix within ourselves. Because we invest in time and effort to fixing their problems. You can't put your problems on hold to fix somebody else's problems. But why do you say that, Matthew? Because I guarantee half of their problems have nothing to do with them. So you're not really fixing their problems. You're fixing somebody else's problems that they're being affected by. Y'all see how much of a trickle effect that is? If you are point G, you're point G. A A has a problem and expresses it to B. B get wraps up in that his or her emotions because A has a problem. Then goes to C. And C does the same thing B did, but C is dating D, so D asking C what's going on. So now D got the problem, and it goes all the way down to you. And now you can't do what you need to do for the day, for the week, for the month, because your emotions are so wrapped up. Why is that? Because if we're going to be empathetic and sympathetic, and if we're going to be that support system, the number one rule is maintain control and the guardianship in the guardship of your mental health by any means necessary. And if somebody's going through an issue that it immediately affects your mental health, you need to pause. You need to stop, because maybe helping that person or talking to that person may not have anything to deal with you. The only thing that you could do, maybe sometimes, is to pray about it. Maybe sometimes say, you know what, it's going to get better. We can't play Captain Save a Sad Soul every single time we run across somebody going through something. We're not built for that. We can encourage, but we can't always be that person to help somebody fix them. Because to be honest with you, can't nobody help anybody fix anybody. The only person that can fix somebody is that person. The only person that can fix that person's problems is that person, should I say. We trying to fix everybody else's problem and we can't even fix our own problems. Ain't that something? So these are what's called this is the FYI. These are what's called indirect attacks. Attacks that have nothing to do with us. Right? Ain't got nothing to do with us. We need to work in silence and mind our business sometimes. All right? Like I said, and I'm emphasizing this because I don't want nobody to sit here and say, Matthew, you just this careless, nonchalant, empathetic of a person, and you are disgraced because you just so careless. You just don't care. I'm not saying that. I'm saying in order to help somebody and support somebody to maneuver through whatever they're going through, it's a discipline that we have to possess. We have to possess discipline, because if we don't, we'll start stepping out of boundaries, and those boundaries will cost pieces of our mental health. It'll cost time that we could be utilizing to work on us. Think about it. Another thing, and I use the ability, as pertaining to the topic, the umbilical cord for part 3, is ability. And actually, this is why ability is also fused in with part 2 and part 3. And I didn't want to do a part 4, so I'm fusing together part 3 and 4 because it'll make better sense. All right. And I hope in each and every one of you get a clear understanding. All right. We have to have the ability. And the lack of the ability to really, honestly, and truly move on with life to fix us stems from what we speak within ourselves and what we allow other people to speak. And I'm here to tell you that a lot of what people speak has nothing to do with us. But the moment we allow it to sit in our atmosphere and our minds start projecting thoughts, negative thoughts, We take the umbilical cord and go right there. And everybody knows what an umbilical cord does. So when we're looking at, and I tend to write everything down, the definition of ability, the possession of the means or skills to do something. So you have to have the ability to stop negative thoughts dead in their track. And in order to do that, you have to have the ability to assess why you're having these negative thoughts. Well, I'm having these negative thoughts because I feel sad. Okay, why do you feel sad? Because this happened. Why are you allowing that moment to manifest into something greater than a moment? You're allowing it to manifest into a season. And you know what happens? And if you continue to allow a moment to manifest into a season, it begins to manifest into multiple seasons. And then when you allow it to manifest into multiple seasons, guess what? It starts taking chunks and chunks and chunks of your life. Just think about it. Just think about it. In life, nothing will be accomplished if ability is not first recognized. You got to understand what you have the ability to do and what you have the ability to not do. And if you don't have the ability to do something, you need to figure out why you don't have the ability to do it. Some of us have the ability to do stuff. Some in my teeth. But some of us have the ability to do stuff and we just don't want to put it in work because we don't want to feel uncomfortable. I'm going to tell you this. You will never accomplish anything in life if you do not recognize your ability to do something and the fact that you may not have the ability to do something. Because if you don't have the ability to do something, then you can simply go through this process of getting the ability to do something. Why don't you have the ability to do something? And if that's a hindrance, you need to figure out how to change that hindrance to something that's going to motivate you. You got to figure out how to change that stumbling block to a stepping stone. You got to figure out how to take that hindrance and make it to that staff that's going to part that Red Sea so you can go on from one end of the sea to the next. Some of us have to realize that. Some of us don't want to put in the work, and that's the thing. We sit up there and we have these nervous breakdowns. We hyperventilate. We just lose our minds sometimes. We go crazy. Why? Because we don't want to put in the work. You'll be surprised how many people I've seen, and I know they got it, but they don't want to put in the work. And if they don't want to put in the work, hey, there's nothing that I can do. I'm not going to stick the umbilical cord from me into them and drive me crazy because, to help somebody that don't want to help themselves. You are the only one. You are the only one that can stop what you want to accomplish from happening. You. And to be honest, you are the only one. And here's how you're the only one. Here's what you do. You speak negativity within yourself or anything negative within yourself, and you allow other people to do it. Y'all gonna be surprised. I just want y'all to understand how so much of these negative things and these negative thoughts and feelings, if you go back to the origins because of what somebody else said, and then when somebody else said it, you either believed it or it just bothered you so much and you just went through an uncomfortable moment that you start believing it. You either let the words hurt you or you let the words dictate you and conjure up some kind of a manifestation. And yes, I use conjured because it is some kind of dark magic, but neither here nor there. All right. You'll be surprised. Whether we speak and or think or allow others to dictate our fate, the reason why we have failed to keep going and to fix these problems, and to go on this journey and assess ourselves is because we've allowed the iniquity to blind us. And everybody knows iniquity simply means unequal. You're not seeing what should be seen. You're not seeing what should be seen. What you're seeing is unequal to what you're supposed to see, the reality of the matter. We get blinded by iniquity because we like to speak negative things within ourselves. Do y'all not know that each and every day so many of us destroy our destinies, our goals, our dreams, what blessings we could have simply because we allow words and feelings and thoughts and emotions to dictate our fate. So now your fate is being dictated by your untamed emotions, by your untamed wild thoughts, by your untamed feelings. I don't care how emotional you are. And some of you are emotional people. And I'm not being disrespectful, but in reality, there are some people who are like extremely emotional people. But you still gotta be disciplined. I don't care if you are sad. You gotta be disciplined in your sadness. I don't care if you are angry. You still gotta be disciplined in your anger. I'm gonna tell you now, that discipline, I'm gonna tell y'all something. That discipline is gonna help you maneuver much easier through the hardest parts of your life and endure some of the most painful things in your life. It is going to help you get through it. But not only do you take that umbilical cord and allow that umbilical cord to go into somebody else's insecurities or situations, they done projected that all on you. We also take the umbilical cord and attach it to our untamed emotions. And that untamed emotions then dictate our next move in life, our next thought in our minds, our next feelings, the next words we say, what we believe. You will realize that when them emotions start getting out of control, the order in which your spiritual existence operate shifts. So now it's discombobulated. And then you got to go through all this hardship just to try to get it back on track. So with a positive mindset, all right, let's go to positivity. With a positive mindset, you are able to embrace so many things, right? You're able to embrace the answers. You're able to go through the process of finding the answers to the questions that's just rattling inside your head and running amok. You're able to do that. When you assess yourself during your mental health check-in time, during your me time, you got to be positive. You got to be disciplined. I am feeling down, but you know what? I'm just not going to lose my mind. I'm going to have discipline. I'm going to breathe. I'm going to relax. And I'm going to be okay. With a positive mindset, it's easier. I understand you're mad about some things, you're sad about some things, you're feeling down and out about something, but we got to have some kind of positivity. I don't care if you got to go and find some on the YouTube and just get 5 minutes of laughter. We got to get to that moment that we possess some kind of positivity, because that positivity is synonymous with peace in this situation. So we got to have that peace to be able to begin to work on us and to solve the problems, right? Every fortunate event, and I want to really focus on this before we wrap this up. Every fortunate event is not demonic. It's not evil. You're not always being punished. Now, I understand some people believe in a God or gods that will punish. All right. I understand people think that when something happens, it's the enemy, it's the devil, it's the evilness. No. We really gotta stop giving evil the evilness, the enemy, and the devil more power than what he has. He ain't got so much power. All right. If you really look at it, our choice to do wrong is our free will. The only power the devil has is to be optimistic that you're going to fail. That's the only power he has, is the optimism that you're going to fail, that you're going to procrastinate, that you're going to succumb to your emotions, that you're going to succumb to your negative thoughts. The only power he has is to be optimistic that you will not understand the proper way or the positive way of handling situations. That's the only power he has. And people need to stop saying when somebody has a heart attack or a stroke, oh, it's the enemy. No, it's not. Oh, the devil is busy because we have all these, these tragic, these tragic situations where these lives are being taken. That ain't the devil. That's the choice of the person who decided to do the action. That may be influenced by the ways of the enemy, but the enemy has no power. We got to really stop giving the enemy more power than what he has. Because last time I checked, and I don't mean to go biblical, But the last time I checked, when Jesus died on the cross and rose again and went and took the keys back from the devil, that meant the devil ain't have no more power. Just a word of thought. Just a word of thought. Hey, for those Christians out there, look it up for yourself. All right, moving on. But every moment is every unfortunate moment. You know, let's be clear. It's not the enemy attacking, or sometimes it's a test of faith, right? Sometimes it's a test of faith. Sometimes God is really saying, hey, I'm going to see if you can walk the walk like you talk the talk. Let's see how faithful you are. Let's see how much faith you have. And, and one may ask, how does this pertain to mental health? Because you have to understand that every unfortunate event that happened in your life is not of evilness. It may be caused by evilness, but evilness does not create the situation. Sometimes situations happen, depending on the situation now. Sometimes situations happen that really sharpens you. And you find answers that you've been, you find answers to the questions that you've been asking in these situations. Right? And at the end of the day, once you come out of it, you'll find that you are better of a person than you are had you not would have went through those unfortunate moments. I'm gonna tell you now, if I did not go through the unfortunate events in my life that I've been through, I'm gonna tell you now, I would have been a millionaire and clueless. I would have been a millionaire and clueless. I would have not been as knowledgeable as I am now. If I did not go through these moments and situations of my life, I would have been married for years and years. Matter of fact, I probably would have been married for about 10 years now, to be honest with you. But it would have only been a small fraction of the person I am now. And I'm gonna tell you now, there's a lot going on in here and here. Like, it's a lot. I'll look back some days and be like, is that really me talking on the podcast? Is that really me that imparted so much in this person during this conversation? Is that really me? But had I not would have gone, like I said, sometimes these moments, sometimes these events, these parts of our lives, these uncomfortable moments that we have in our lives, sometimes these are the answers to the questions that we've been asking. And sometimes to get those answers, we got to do a lot of uncomfortable stuff. Not do a lot, but go through a lot of uncomfortable stuff to get the answers. And you know what? The thing about it is, you know what that's simply it? That's just work. That's just work. We make it seem bigger than what it actually is. It's just simply work. It's just like getting a paycheck. Sometimes to get that paycheck, you're going to have to go do some long hours. To get that paycheck, you might have to drive to work in the rain. You might have to endure walking in the cold or in the snow to your car to warm your car up and get to work. You might have to endure those days where you can work you could do like 5 hours worth of work and only an hour went by to get that paycheck. And that's the same thing about life. To be great in life, you have to put in the work. To fix yourself, you have to put in the work. You just can't acknowledge flaws and changeable things about you and then don't put in the work to change it. But that's not going to happen. Because as you become knowledgeable, you then held accountable for applying the wisdom. And the wisdom is going through the process and taking what you know and applying it to your life. So if you know that you need some healing, wisdom says, begin to heal. If you know that you've been hurt and you got some wounds that ain't been closed and healed properly, wisdom says, begin to heal. Where's the umbilical cord come in? Because when you don't put in the work, you take your umbilical cord and go right there to the spirit of laziness, to the entity of not caring about yourself. And the longer you put that umbilical cord there, the longer you can't accomplish anything. Because you're not putting in the work to accomplish anything. We have to start cutting that umbilical cord from, and like the umbilical cord, it gets us in trouble, y'all. It gets us in trouble. When we having our mental health moments, like I said earlier, I'm like, why am I feeling the way I'm feeling? And you realize you feeling the way you feeling because you sit here, wrap your emotions and parts of you into something that ain't got nothing to do with you. Without discipline, umbilical cord, not putting in the work. Once you realize what's bothering you, what's making you sad, what's making you angry, what we do, you take that umbilical cord and go right there. When we don't put in the effort to make us great, what do? We take that umbilical cord and go, I want to stay at the same level I'm at now. I want to stay at the same place in life I'm at now. And we wonder why we can't be great. We can't succeed. We can't be what we want to be and do the positive things that we want to do and feel the positive things that we want to feel. If you ain't going to put in the work, you ain't going to get there. Whatever God each and every one of you serve, I'm pretty sure they'll tell you that. Whatever your belief is, I'm pretty sure your belief is saying, hey, you're going to have to put in the work now to get the greatness. Cut that umbilical cord. You are not a baby anymore. You are not a baby anymore. Some of you may be a baby in the adult world. You may be 18, 19, 20. Spiritually, nah. Because your spiritual existence existed before your spiritual existence knew it existed. That say. Your spiritual existence existed before your spiritual existence knew it existed. So you know what that means? You are old enough to cut off that umbilical cord. And that's all I'm saying. Thank you for taking the time to make you a better you. Cut that umbilical cord. Tap into your greatness. Tap into that work you got to do, because I'm tapping into the work I got to do. I appreciate each and every one of y'all for coming in despite the scruffiness I have from the neck up. I am presenting myself to you. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. And I hope part 1, part 2, and part 3 of the mental health check really gave you some kind of a guidance. Now, how you go about, assessing your mental health, everybody is different. This is not, you should do this, or you should do this, or you should do this. This is a guiding light. This is a jewels. And some of you may take all the jewels, and it may work. Some of you may take all the few of the jewels, and it may work. I'm just giving you techniques, and I'm just helping you out. And you take what you want to take, and you go on, like I said, every day assess yourself. Every week assess yourself. Every month assess yourself. Ask yourself, are you okay? Multiple times throughout the day. Ask yourself if you are okay multiple times throughout the week. Ask yourself, what makes me happy? What makes me sad? What makes me angry? What makes me feel like I'm going to give up? And if there's anything, when excluding what makes you happy, first of all, you got to understand what makes you happy. But all the other ones, you're going to have to go through that journey and figure out what makes you sad, and what makes you depressed, and what makes you angry, and what makes you want to give up. What's triggering you? Then you have to put in the work and cut off this umbilical cord. Like it's going to, this umbilical cord that it's all just going to, just because I know about it, it's going to go away. Nah, not going to happen. You're going to have to put in the work. So get your tools. Write it down. Some people write in a journal or a diary. Some people write a poem. Some people write a song. Whatever it is that you need to do. I hope that these 3 parts of this series of the mental health check really helps you get started with that process of a mental health check every day, every week, every month. Because just like your spiritual body needs to be clean and good hygiene and healthy, just like your physical body does, your spiritual body does too. And a lot of us, we got some messed up spiritual bodies that we got to get together. Sometimes it's like, oh, I might need to take a spiritual bath and wash all this negativity off me. I might need to have a moment that I'm like, okay, what's going on in my head? I do the same thing. I have those moments that I do that because I don't want to feel anything opposite of happy. I don't care how frustrating the day is. I don't want to feel any emotion opposite of happy. So I appreciate each and every one of you taking this time. We have wrapped up part 1, 2, and 3 of the mental health series. And I appreciate each and every one of y'all coming in and investing time to make you a better you. And you take this, and you apply it. However way you see fit, you apply it. And I'm going to tell you now, after this, real fun begins. I got a lot in store. I'm gonna tell you now. This is what, 6 and 7. Oh my gosh, I don't wrote 7 episodes of this podcast. Can y'all believe that? Can y'all believe 7 episodes of Tapping Into Life? My God. Golly. All right. Praise them. And I got more. All right. I done wrote 12 episodes, but you've only seen 7 after this one. You know, this will be 6 and 7, so you've seen 2 episodes combined into 1. And we just gonna keep it moving. Each and every one of you, have a great day. And whenever you see this, have a good night. If you see it in the morning, have a great day. If you see it at midday, have a great, I don't know, what's midday? Have a great rest of your day. That's what it is. Be blessed, be encouraged, be a beacon of light to somebody, be positive, and tap into your greatness. Until next time, have a good one.